Our invisible empire is pretty much like an entrepreneur center. It's almost like a small business support center. What if in Dragon's Den they didn't just cut you the check?
Right.
Like, what if they were involved in every area of the business? It's all about the people for us now. Every business is, if it exists, it's a good idea.
Sure.
Like, people will come to us and say, hey, I'm going to do this auto detailing center. Do you think this is a good idea?
This episode is brought to you by our friends at easynextsteps.com. Easy Next Steps is designed to help you and your family take care of the things that matter most, like your healthcare, money, and your lifestyle. Or maybe you own a business or run an organization with members and you're looking to attract and retain people who value their independence and mobility. Easy Next Steps does that too. Just head on over to easynextsteps.com to get started. In this episode, we chat with Brad Warren, the visionary behind Our Invisible Empire. Brad shares his journey from humble beginnings to building a business empire that supports small businesses. Tune in for invaluable insights on entrepreneurship, business growth, and the power of data tracking. Welcome to the Rebel. I'm your host, Michael Dargie, and somewhere across the world, several times, and maybe even in Calgary, please welcome to the show, Brad Warren. Brad, how the hell are you?
I'm good, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm doing so good. I've been so excited to have this conversation with you. So you run a business called called Our Invisible Empire.
Yeah.
And I was immediately intrigued when I heard about you, and I had to learn more. And I wonder if you could just take a minute and bring us all up to speed about what Our Invisible Empire is all about. I know that's a big ask because it's an empire.
Yeah, it's a loaded question, but it's Our Invisible Empire is pretty much like an entrepreneur center. It's almost like a small business support center.
Yeah.
So we just took everything that people would go and get done in other places. Like, you're going to have a bookkeeping retainer, you're going to have your accountant, you're going to have your marketing firm, you're going to have this, you're going to have that. We just took it all to one spot. So anything in small business that anybody needs, they just come to one roof and deal with our different departments.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, that seems to drive the majority of our services in that area. And then we also have a second stream of business that we partner with local entrepreneurs and small businesses. Most of them either startups or struggling businesses that are looking to get back on track.
Yeah.
And we have our partnership world where we go and take equity and work out that wherever it's minority, majority, whatever it is. And then we have our services world where people just come to us like any different marketing firm.
Wow.
So, I mean, in the big picture of it, yeah, we own equity in a bunch of different businesses in Calgary and try and help small business as much as humanly possible.
Oh, that's so cool. So, and I mean, it's very uncommon simply because, I mean, I wouldn't think to go to a marketing agency, for example, and get some bookkeeping done but you do cover the entire broad spectrum, pardon me, which I find fascinating.
Yeah, it's kind of people, they get it when they're here. And then once they start working with us, it's easier to understand. But it's not just that we have an accounting department. We own White Raven accounting and bookkeeping.
Right.
So between I think we're up to 19 companies in Calgary, whether it be majority, minority equity, couple of them e-commerce websites that just sell online, but they are incorporated. But it's like we own the accounting company. We own, so it's not so much that we have different departments in-house in accounting and marketing. It's that we have kind of specialty and the money just never really leaves the organization.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So it cuts expenses huge.
Yeah, that's wild. So I have to ask, let's do a little bit of time travel because this seems like such a huge thing because it's not just like if I have, my agency, Make More Creative, for example, we would never touch accounting. Like that's just isn't in our world. There's a lot of things that aren't in our world, but you seem to have just sort of, taken on these things, invested in these companies, added them as part of the team and now part of your own ecosystem. And I am so curious, Brad, how this happened. Like if we go back in time to maybe you're 7 years old and you're, selling your baseball cards. I don't know. What does that look like?
Yeah. Let's go with baseball cards. Selling baseball cards. Baseball cards is legal. Yeah. So let's go with that.
Okay.
I don't know what the statute of limitations on that is.
Yeah.
I've been selling things since high school. I mean, and I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I found a career that I sunk my teeth into pretty heavy. Yeah. So that that kind of put a stopgap on it. But then as soon as we were done with that, there was really no question about it. Like I was just going to start my own business. And I think how it all happened, man, is some of it was timing. Some of it was who we are. Like, it's not like it was, I always had the vision for Invisible Empire, like what it could be and how powerful it could be and how many people it could help in the process. Because coming out of my last career, I got to work with a venture capitalist firm for a couple of years before exiting from that company. And I always thought to myself, like, I think somebody could do this better. Like, what if in Dragon's Den, they didn't just cut you the check?
Right. Like,
what if they were involved in every area of the business? How much more helpful would that be? But I think a lot of it was timing. Like, I came out of a bunch of experience in the automotive world. So when we started Boulevard Auto Glass, it was just kind of a no-brainer. Like, why give up all those contacts? I know all the people. We have a great leader down there, Dalen. I spend 2-3 hours a month in that company. He does a great job. And then White Raven Accounting, well, my wife is a CPA accountant. And we kind of started it all together. So we were like, why not just go through the process of opening our own accounting firm? Which, much more invasive than we thought, by the way. Wow, is it a pain in the ass to get an accounting firm open?
Really?
Oh, it was
like
just the amount of
and stuff.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, like I can't even go into detail because I'm not knowledgeable enough about it, but it took us a solid year to get through all the bureaucracy of it. But
that's good to hear, though, frankly.
Yeah, it is. But accounting is one of the areas we uncover on a daily basis where I'm not one for criticizing competition. Yeah. I don't think it's admirable because everybody has their struggles and nobody wakes up in the morning saying, hey, I'm going to fuck that guy over. That's just no one's mentality. But the amount of accountants and bookkeepers we come across that it's a coin flip whether they should be doing weekends in prison here and there. It's bad.
Really?
But anyways, how it all came about was, I think, timing mixed with a drive that we had and lack of education too. Like, if I could go back and do it all over again, I wouldn't have grown as quick as we did. It put too much pressure on the whole system. We weren't experienced enough in certain areas to be growing at that fast.
Interesting.
Growing that fast and making the level of mistakes that we made really shined a light on where our careers prepped us for that and where our careers did not prep us for that.
Really? Okay. Talk to me about that. What does that mean?
In my previous career, I ran a big company. I was the general manager of a big company. I was blessed to be with it for like a decade. And I went through the scale with that business. Right. I mean, I think when I came on, there was, and I can't remember exactly, but I think it was like 15, 20 employees or something like that. And when we were done, I think it was 120, 130, sold it to a venture capitalist firm. But the one thing you don't realize is when you're running a big business, you're running everything, but you're not running the cash.
Right.
The founder, the owner, my mentor, he always ran the cash. Like, no matter how big I got within the business and how many people were underneath me, I never ran the cash flow. The cash was just always there. And then I come and start my own business, and then and I'm kind of sitting there being like, fuck, this is expensive. Like, where's all the money?
Right. Those mistakes suddenly matter a lot more.
And I go meet with the accountants once a month or meet with my wife and her team, and I'm just like, so this is doing well, and this is doing well, and Boulevard's on fire, and Econo Dex is having a record-breaking year, and everything's going well, but where's all the money? Like, why can't I buy anything?
Right.
It's like, that's the way it goes. So we just scaled so much that anytime we made an extra $3-4 grand a month, we just hired another employee. We never waited for, so it just kept going into the businesses.
Okay.
And then we turned around 2-3 years later, and we were at a spot where it was like, oh, shit. Like, we're pretty maxed out.
Yeah.
We might want to start focusing on making money and put the scale at a second priority now.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I think some of it was just we got caught in the riptide, and we started a small business support system 2 months into a pandemic.
Right. Yeah.
Like, our first company opened June 1st of 2020. So, I mean, this has all happened in under 4 years.
Oh, my God.
So we don't really know anything other than operating in a pandemic. And, we should have slowed it down a bit, but it worked out.
Wow. Oh my God. So when everybody was freaking out during the pandemic and, contracting, you were expanding.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like when everything happened with the pandemic. I'm the guy that went out and bought a ton of stock. I wasn't running and hiding. I was buying it up at record breaking pace, as much SeaWorld and cruise lines and my wife's like, well, and I'm like, SeaWorld's not going out of business. Don't worry about it. And I just started buying stuff up. But yeah, it's not that we were expanding. We were trying to survive. Like, it's not like it was planned. Like, Boulevard Auto Glass was a pretty big launch.
Right.
Like, it did 7 figures in revenue in its first year. So, I mean, it was not a small company to open.
Right.
And we had government grants and loans out. Nobody would lease to us because the pandemic was leaning and things were bad. So we ended up buying a commercial building, I think February 16th. And then the pandemic was announced 2 weeks later.
Oh my God.
And then we went to go start a construction project on that commercial building. And about a week later, the lockdowns were announced.
Oh my God.
And we had Boulevard Auto Glass and White Raven accounting a year in the making of planning, prepping, websites, everything. We didn't have the resources we have now. We could do it in a week now, but it took us a year before. And then the pandemic just hit. So we're sitting there being like, shit.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it was super scary. Super scary. So then I think we just put our head down and powered through it and came up for air about a year ago.
Wild. What is it that made you... And I'm just going to drift back to the past for a sec, just because I think that the stories of where entrepreneurs and people come from is fascinating. And you can go into as much or as little detail as you want, but how is it that you were wired this way? Because you are uncommon.
Yeah, it's a good question because, like, I don't know the answer to it because for me, it's normal.
Sure.
Like, I'm red-brown colorblind.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, deciphering differences between reds, browns, greens, even shades of blues and purples, they all kind of look the same to me. I can tell when a flower is yellow and a folder is blue. That's easy. I see colors. I just don't see those colors.
Oh, okay.
But I've been like that my whole life. So it's not like I miss it.
Yeah.
I don't know any better. I'm not sitting there upset at night that I can't see the differences between green and brown.
Sure.
I just ask my daughter. I'm just like, Huxley, what color is this? She's like, Daddy, that's green. I'm like, okay, perfect. And we go back to coloring.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know any different. Like, are there people that affected it along the way? Of course. Like, my parents, especially my father, was relentless, but also extremely emotionally reactive. So I probably got a part of that from there. And then my mentor that I worked with for 10 years that pretty much taught me the majority of what I know in business today, he was very similar, very relentless. Like, you could have Connor McDavid could go score 10 goals a game and he'd be like, so 11 or 12 next game. And you'd be like, okay. So I think you get bred along those. Yeah. But it was always the case, man. Like, I think I don't register the risk I take. I think that's a big thing. Like, my wife always says that. She's like, you don't really see that risky. I'm like, no, seems like a good idea. And she's like, what if it doesn't work? It's like, then I'm just going to fucking bang my head against the wall till I make it work.
What?
I'll never stop till it works. Yeah. But I think it is something where some people are just wired different. Like, some people I'm always moving the goalpost all the time. Yeah. So, I mean, if I hit one metric, I want to hit another. If I put a rocket on the moon, I want to put one on Mars. Then if I have 2, I want 3. And it's a scary spot to be when you're 75 and not content. But
yeah, I was going to ask that. That would be the next question. Like, what do you have in your world that is stable and is okay as the status quo, or does that exist in your world?
Yeah, it does. It does now. Even the way the businesses are, like, I told we had meetings at the beginning of the year, and I said, I'm taking on 2 or 3 partnerships in 2024, and that's it. We need to catch up to where we're at. I'm good where we're at, and we've become very picky on who we work with. Yeah. But my kids, like, I'm 100% content. My favorite thing to do is spend time with my kids. Nice. So, like, everybody thinks entrepreneurs are this, like, driving factor, and he works 90 hours a week and this, and sure, sometimes I do. Sometimes I work 90 hours a week. Sometimes I work 5.
Right.
Sometimes I just sit at home and play video games because I'm like, today's not the day. So like, I love the freedom. Yeah. But if I'm off in Kimberley, BC with my kids swimming in rivers and hiking and whatever, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good right where I'm at.
Nice.
If I'm gardening with my kids out in the backyard in the summer, I'm good. I could sit there for 2 days and garden with my kids. Yeah. It just seems in business, I love solving problems. Yeah. And nothing's ever perfect. So I'm always trying to take 9 out of 10s to 10 out of 10s. And that's my job.
That's outstanding. What is the thing that you, I mean, you mentioned, time with your kids and, which I think is awesome. I mean, it's great to have balance there with family.
Yeah.
What's the thing that you do just for Brad?
Wow, I'm so good at being put on the spot. I don't know. Because, I mean, invisible empires for Brad.
Okay.
Everybody's got to, I mean, in a sense, everyone has to keep up with me most of the time. I'm the crazy person taking on too much. It's like, oh, we don't have a pink logo within our system. It's like, we need to go partner or start a company with a pink logo. And I go create a pink logo and then create that. So that fuels, invisible empire definitely fuels like my creative side and like how much I like to create and that stuff. Yeah. But just for me, probably basic stuff, man. Like, I'm a big green thumb. So like grass, cutting my grass, working on the grass, the trees, the flat, like I love that stuff. Yeah. And the kids just get in the way of the lawnmower. So, I mean, it's a really shitty answer to the question, but most of the stuff we do as a family. Like I'm actually the dad that likes spending time with his family. I
love that.
Like I really do. Like, and I'm not knocking the ones that don't. There's days that I don't, but I always love doing stuff with my kids. That's so great. Like, so yeah, I don't do a whole bunch. I mean, YMCA, if I go work out, which I don't as much as I should, I'm carrying all my winter weight. So this one will have to be an audio one. But yeah, I mean, for me, probably anything green thumb would be just leave me alone. Let me put my headphones on and I'll spend the whole day in the yard.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm trying to grow an avocado right now.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I know nothing about growing an avocado. I once grew a whole bunch of pot plants. Okay. And I bought like a little ecosystem for it and stuff like that, which is super fun. And then recently, I made myself like a avocado wrap or whatever, and I had the seed left over. I'm just like, I keep seeing this stuff online where you put the toothpicks in, then you put it in the water, and then it sprouts, and then you plant it, and then bam, avocado. And it's not like that, Brad.
No. How's that going?
So I think it's like sitting in the water for like 6 weeks, and it finally sort of broke open. I could see a little bit of the thing inside. I'm just like, okay. So now it's, been in the soil for a week, and I'm like, I'm so excited, but it's going to take way longer than I expected.
You almost have to love it too.
Oh yeah.
Because like we got rid of our garden. Like we picked our whole garden last year, and it's like, throughout the whole thing, I think we got like 12 cans of salsa, and 6 cans of tomato sauce. And my wife's like, looked at me and she was like, oh, that's a lot of watering. Yeah. Like we could go buy these from a farmer's market.
Totally.
Yeah, it's a lot of effort, but we like it.
But it's the smell of the soil. And I don't know if you're a tomato guy, but like I love picking tomatoes because that smell of fresh tomatoes and basil. Oh my God. Yeah. So
we're big. Tomatoes are our biggest thing. Like we made a whole batch of salsa with tomatoes from a farmer's market versus the ones in our garden, and it didn't taste the same. I challenge anybody. It just did not taste as good. Yeah. It was a 7 out of 10 instead of a 9 out of 10.
Damn.
Yeah, it was still very good, but it just wasn't the same.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyways.
That's awesome. Okay. Imagine, so I don't know where you live, and we're not going to geolocate you, but let's just say for the sake of argument that we're going to say Princess Island Park in downtown Calgary. And you're walking along the path. We'll say it's June. It's not June now, but I'm just going to, because I know the river is going to come up higher, and the leaves are all going to be green. There's going to be birds, and the geese aren't going to be messing with you too much. And you're walking along the path, and you're thinking to yourself, oh man, I just wish the world knew this one thing. What is the one thing that you wish the world knew?
I like this. I think I've done 4 or 5 podcasts in the last 6 months. It's kind of a little like almost community. Like once you do 1 or 2 now, people are reaching out all the time, and that's one of the better questions I've had so far.
Thank you.
It's gonna be super cliche, I think, but I think I'm gonna go with it. Once you get everything you want, it's not gonna make you any happier. Like I wish everybody could, and I'm not saying I have everything I want. I don't. Right. I walk around in sweatpants because I can't afford to buy new ones. I put it all in companies. But I love when Jim Carrey gives that speech, and Jim Carrey says, and I tell people this, he says, I wish everybody in the world could get rich and famous so they could realize that it is not even a fraction of the answers to the problems they seek. So it's like, and I think I'm going to go with it because it's cliche, and it's not that money doesn't buy happiness. In the last 3 years, I've been very broke.
Yeah.
Like broke to the point where it's like this shit might come crashing down if the banks didn't have our back as much as they did. But in the last year or two, we've started seeing a lot of light at the end of the tunnel. Like things are going very well for us. And nothing is any different. Like I still have the battles every day with mental health of this, or how to raise your kids, or fights with your wife. Like if your dream is to like be an entrepreneur and then you have freedom and then you're going to be in Bali and then you're going to drive a Lambo and then you're going to do this and you're going to do that, it's not going to change anything once you get there. You got to figure out how to make it work in the time being.
Right on. Oh, that's amazing. That's great. Thank you, Brad. That's kick-ass.
Like being broke sucks. Yeah. I'd much rather have money than be broke. I've been in both spots. Yeah. But it doesn't solve anything.
No.
It just eliminates that one stress.
Yeah. That's really cool. Speaking of Bali, where's your favorite place to travel?
Vegas.
Yeah.
It's freedom.
Really?
It's complete and utter freedom for me as long as I'm there.
Really?
Yeah, like I can drink when I want, I can eat when I want, I can sleep when I want, everything's open all the time, no restrictions, no timelines. Like I'm an explorer. I'm the type of guy you could give me a Crown and Coke and a cigar and I'm good on the strip for 2 days. I love the freedom.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I'm also not a beach guy. You know what I mean? Like sit by the beach for a week's not my thing.
Right.
I'll end up building a sandcastle with my kids the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Far out.
I have to be doing something.
Wow. And I guess, so when you say you can do anything at any time, because maybe your cycles don't necessarily work in the same way that, you know, your circadian rhythm, if you will, is not maybe as established or as normal as other people. If you get up at 4, you want to go have that cigar and whiskey.
Probably not.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a creature of habit. Like
okay.
I'm definitely different than the average bear.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's times I'm working at 9 p.m. or there's times I'm doing this or whatever, but routine is a huge thing for me. Like routine keeps the crazy away. So, I mean, every gift comes with every curse.
Sure.
Like if you have a fast thinker or someone that, you know, they're cursed on the back end because they're thinking of all this shit over here. Yeah. So no, I mean, I'm probably up in between 5 and 6 every day. Like if I sleep till 6:08, it's kind of like I slept in.
Oh, wow.
So I kind of do the same thing every day to keep myself on track. So in Vegas, it's just more, I'm old now and I haven't been since the pandemic. So it probably wouldn't be the same, but yeah, I love not having any time restraints. Nice. Time is my enemy.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Wow.
I love having endless amounts of time. Just explore, brainstorm, whatever.
Yeah, that's cool. Speaking of exploring and brainstorming, what do you look for in a business? Like if you're going to partner, and I don't want to put you on the spot too much, but if you're looking at, you know, getting a new business in the next, you know, couple months or whatever, what is it that you look for from the founders?
It's all about the people for us now. Every business if it exists, it's a good idea.
Sure.
Like people will come to us and say, hey, I'm going to do this auto detailing center. Do you think this is a good idea? It's like, we have 57 of them exist in the city.
Sure.
It's a fine idea. Like nobody's creating this business where they're starting to hatch purple dragons and sell them online. What? Like everything's kind of been done before, right?
Sure.
But it's all about the people. Like for us, who do we want to tie ourselves to? Self-awareness is massive. Like I only work with extremely self-aware people because like I make so many mistakes on a daily basis, man, but I could care less. It does not matter to me. I have my strengths over here and I have my weaknesses over here. And I hire people that are very strong in the areas that I'm very weak. But if you can never get to the root of a problem, if a business is losing money for years over end and the owner comes in and you're like, well, we need to be doing outside sales calls. And it's like, well, I don't have the time for that. And it's like, okay, sure you do.
Right.
It's your business. Yeah. It's your family. Like you have the time for anything if you need to make it work. Yeah. So just being able to get to the bottom problem, like what's the problem? And we're not judging anybody. It's just, you can't get there unless the owners or the founders or the entrepreneurs behind the company are like, yep, that's the area I need help. That's the area I need to work on. That's the area I'm not strong. If you guys could have my back there, I'm very strong over here.
Wow.
Yeah. So for us, it's just the people. Can you have conversations? Honesty, self-awareness. And most people, man, and I meet with a lot of entrepreneurs, like probably a bigger sample size than maybe the average person. And you have your entrepreneurs that won't stop till they make it work. And then you have the other entrepreneurs that want it to work and want what you get in 5 or 10 years, but aren't willing to go through what you need to go through to make it work. And there's very little middle ground.
Right.
There's the A entrepreneurs and the B entrepreneurs. And the B entrepreneurs, they want the dream, but it's not their passion. So in the end, they're going to be financially more successful, probably just working their way through a career.
Sure.
Because if it's your passion to run your own business, you can tell immediately, almost in the first 2-hour conversation.
Really? I believe that. I've talked to a lot of entrepreneurs, and there's a rewiring, I think, that happens.
Yeah. And it's no judgment to either side.
Sure.
Like one of my biggest business partners, Kyle Catling, founder of 51 North Interiors. He founded Drywall Junkies, the Facebook group that's got like 80,000 followers or something at this point. And me and him ended up merging commercial construction and residential construction, because I had all the residential companies, he had the commercial companies. And about a year ago, we did like a merge and did a big deal. It was one of the bigger deals we did with him. And he would be your poster child of somebody that just won't stop till it works. Like, he cares less about the money, cares less about the fancy cars. Like, his numerous businesses are the healthiest cash businesses we have.
Oh, wow.
And he spends the least amount of money. Yeah, I have no money and I spend way more than him. I'm terrible with my money. He's good with his money. But he just has that mindset that I'm going to make this work.
Right.
This thing's going to go to 200 people. I'm going to work from Australia 2 months a year and a decade from now. Like, he just won't stop. He's the guy that's at one of his job sites at 9 p.m. on a Saturday cleaning it up because his crew forgot to.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? And there's just those type of people.
I love that guy.
And then there's the other type of people. That's like, I'll get to that email on Wednesday.
Sure.
It's like, okay.
Wow. If you could wave your Brad's magic wand, which I know you have stashed somewhere around there, what would be an ideal business for you to add to the empire?
Whoa. I would have said auto mechanic, because we have so many company vehicles that are breaking down all the time, but we just added that.
Yeah.
So we just partnered with Myron and his wife, and they run a small mechanic company called Rusted Nuts Mechanical.
I love it.
I love it too. And they do welding and different stuff. So that was a very good fit for us.
Good.
So we were excited about that. We inked that in January. I would say right now, the most beneficial to the business would probably be legal or HR. We do a lot of hiring.
Yeah.
Because we have so many different companies. So like when we post sales ads, we have ads posted for 10 different companies at any given time. So somebody constantly, actually, I'm going to say HR, somewhere in the recruiting world, if we had a recruitment business that could take over all of our hiring, that would be an ideal partnership for us right now. So if anybody's listening to this that has a small little recruitment business and you're very good at interviewing, because interviewing is just smoke. It's smoke and bullshit. It's like the first 3 months that you meet your wife. It's like, even my wife's like, you fucking got me. And I'm like, oh yeah, I was the best version of myself in that 3 months. Interviewing is the same. Are they a fit?
Yeah.
Work them out, So I would say recruitment or anything in the area of hiring right now.
Cool. Very cool. Coming up this summer, are you staying in Calgary?
Yeah.
And are you just working on the business, or do you have plans to do something like maybe a camping trip or something like that? Like what does your free time look like?
We always try and get out to BC in the summer
Right on.
for at least a week or two.
Which part?
Usually we always, for the last like decade, we spent a week in Kelowna up until, because my mentor, the person that I worked for a long time, he had a place in Kelowna.
Oh, nice.
So we were always in Kelowna in the summer, but lately more like the Kimberley, Radium type area. Yeah. We love Kimberley. I don't know what it is about Kimberley. I just like Kimberley.
It's nice. It's got this small town feel to it still.
Yeah, and the places you can stay are nice. Like you can rent big condos and, and I just love it there. Swimming in rivers and just walking around. And so, yeah, we'll get out to BC. But other than that, I get really busy in the summer.
Yeah.
Like me and my wife almost run opposite schedules. Like you can barely speak to her in between December and May 1st.
Sure.
Because she's got year-end season.
Yeah.
Then she hops right into personal tax season.
Oh, wow.
So it's like I barely even know what she looks like right now. And even if she is home, I'm like, excuse me. You could pay attention to me. Yeah. Excuse me. And just nothing.
Hilarious.
And then I would say May until September, I get crazy because a lot of the seasonal businesses kick off.
Oh, sure.
So like Boulevard windshield season comes in, deck season comes in. Residential construction's big right now for secondary suites. So our basement company is just on fire. So yeah, I do a lot more traveling or different stuff like that in the winter. I would say like we do a lot of it like October, November would be our big month.
Nice. Very cool. Are you a music guy?
Yeah. Yes. The more in depth I could go to that music, I wouldn't say it runs my life, but it's a huge part of my life. Yeah.
Talk to me about that. What does that mean?
Music gives me something complicated to follow. Like I love learning. Learning's a big thing of mine. Like I'm not a massive fan of like watching TV or watching movies. I will because it's what people do, but I'd much rather be learning about neuroscience on my phone or trying to teach myself Japanese or something. Like you know what I mean? So my wife, it's hard because she's very content. She'll just, but with music, trailing back to it, like with music, I follow it so in-depthly, like from the lyrics to the snare to every beat to like, I probably just hear it differently. And it's really important to me. Like even me and my wife will listen to a new song and she'll be like, that's a good song. And I'll be like, yeah, but did you see how the beat completely faded? And then he dropped into the intro and he came right off the chorus of the previous verse. Like to me, it's so much more.
I wonder if that's where your colors went. I wonder if your red and brown went to music,
Yeah, maybe. But it's a very important part of my life. Like, and I listen to almost every genre. Like, aside from like very sappy country,
sure.
Like it's probably not my thing. Like, because I'm usually a pretty upbeat guy, and then like really, really heavy metal. I mean, it's not my thing either. Like, and not that I don't like. I mean, heavy sure. Metal, like not rock, like AC/DC and 9 Inch Nails. You're talking about people
screaming into the microphone and.
Yeah, I just personally don't get it. Like, I get the guitars and I get how people follow it, but when you're just screaming into the microphone, I can't hear anything else. Like, your guitar riff is just getting buried amongst the screaming about
sure.
this and death and whatever. And I'm kind of like, okay.
What's your so, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be your favorite of all time, but what's one of your favorite bands? Or artists?
U2.
Nice.
Eminem, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I love Nelly. Yeah, like back in the 90s, Nelly, Country Grammar, like he went on fire. I would say my favorite artist is probably Eminem.
Yeah.
Because he's so complicated to follow.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people really pick up on how, like, oh, Eminem's a lyricist and he's a genius. And he is, but like really get into it.
Yeah, there's another level there.
Yeah, like when you're just throwing triple entendres into a random song, and it's like if you really, really listen to it, when one thing means 3 different things and he can wrap it up, he's an astonishing songwriter.
Yeah.
Yeah, even all the stuff he's wrote for other people.
Yeah.
Like he wrote for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, like he's written for AC/DC, he's written for a lot of people that
I didn't know that.
Wrote in a couple. Yeah, he's written for a lot of people. And it's just, he's astonishing because I love writing. Writing's a big thing of mine too.
Yeah. Well, next question was, what are you writing?
What am I not writing? I mean, I'm drawing out cartoons. I have numerous cartoons written. I have short stories written. I have a novel written that nobody will ever see. Like, I just love writing. Yeah, love writing. Give me a whiteboard, some paper, some colorful pens, and I'm good to go.
Oh my God. And here's the thing, and I'm not, this is not to paint you with a brush, but I never would have thought that.
Most people wouldn't. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I'm a mix, man. Yeah. Like, I in between 9 and 5, I'm pretty cutthroat and pretty about the business, but half the websites we have up on the internet, or a third of the logos we have going, I've sketched them.
Oh, wow.
From the beginning. Yeah, like I love being a part of that stuff.
Still waters run deep.
Yeah, that's, if I could do that for a living, I would. Like, I have to do a whole bunch of other shit I don't like.
Just so you have the opportunity to sketch these things out and write some copy. And hilarious.
Yeah, I spend 20% of my month analyzing numbers and P&Ls and cash flows and tracking systems and everything like that. And then, I mean, when I get to the creating part, that's my favorite part. That's the part where I could just work 3 days straight with no sleep. You give me endless whiteboards and 6 different colors and some headphones, and I create a couple companies in those couple days.
Oh my God. So fun. Yeah, I spent some time. Actually, this morning I was working on some illustrations, and I just wish I could do that like every day, all day. Like, it's just so fun just to dive into the line work and just sort of play around with this world. Because again, you're just creating it in front of you. And I'm a huge fan of whiteboards too. So I feel you. You're my people.
Well, you were in my board.
Yeah.
Every wall's a whiteboard.
Yeah. So
I've unlit this whole office. I think 50% of the walls are whiteboards I can draw on.
Oh my God, I love it. That's so great.
And the walls in our basements are whiteboards.
Really?
Yeah.
As they should be.
Yeah, I do. It's the majority of where my work gets done. I don't pick up my computer very often.
Do you have like a whole bunch of Post-its no matter where you go, or you just...
No matter where I go. Nice. Numerous different books, writing books. So I write everything down. Yeah.
Right on. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, let me tie. Man, I could talk to you forever about all these different things, and there's a lot of rabbit holes to go down with you. So I appreciate the time and the depth at which you operate. That's really cool. If you were to give, I call them rebels in waiting. Well, these are the people who are. Again, they could be people who are about to approach you to be like, hey, I really need help with my business. Or it could be somebody who's like, I got this great idea for a business. Or it could be somebody going, holy fuck, I got to get out of this business. But we'll call them rebels in waiting. They're just about to do the thing. And I love getting advice from people who have been there, done that in a variety of different ways, to say, what advice would you give to these people, whoever they happen to be?
Yeah, whether you're trying to turn it around, start a business, whatever you're doing, track your numbers and track your data. That's everything. Like, I spend 80% of my week reviewing, tracking, finding new ways to track, because your financial forecast is everything. So like, if you are sitting there and you're starting your business and you're 3-4 years in and you don't have a forecast to exactly what that company is going to make in a year from now, you're dead in the water. Like, I can tell you what every single company that we have will make by December 31st, from revenue to cost of goods sold, to labor, to net profit, to EBITDA. And I highly doubt we'd be outside of 10% ever. Like, most of the time we don't go outside 5%. So it's like, I'll use Boulevard Auto Glass for an example. Track your numbers. And if you don't know how, don't make it optional. Find someone that can teach you how to do it. Like, we meet with so many entrepreneurs that don't know where their revenue is at for the year. How do you know if you're winning or losing?
Right.
So we could tell you how many Dodge Ram windshields Boulevard Auto Glass did in June of last year on a rainy day and a sunny day. Like, and there's over 5, 6, 7,000 different windshield SKUs, but we track it to such an extent so that your marketing doesn't have to be a gamble. Everything's ROI, everything's data tracked, right? So like, we're working with Smith Cosmetics right now. And she's like, I'm going to start sending out all these emails and I'm going to do all this. And I love these sisters that founded Smith Cosmetics. Yeah. They're just freaking adorable. Me and my wife just love them. And I'm like, everything you're doing right now is a data graph because you don't have any of the data. So how many people are you emailing? How many responses are you getting? How many sample products are you sending out? What is the cost of your sample product? What sale are you missing on the back end by doing that? And then after the end of 3 months, you should be able, if you track it properly, it's like, okay, I'm going to send 100 emails. I'm going to get 26 replies. We shipped out 26 sample boxes. 11 of those 26 were interested. 3 of those 26 started placing orders. What was the dead cost on each sample box that went out? What's your ROI on the 3 orders versus the 100 emails you spent versus the sample boxes you sent? Every single thing in business can be decided by numbers. And if it isn't decided by numbers, you're in a very competitive province to be doing small business.
Wow.
Alberta is very competitive. You need to know exactly where your business is all the time. And if you don't know how to track those numbers, come see us. We'll teach you. It'll take 2-3 hours, and then you can come back when you want. And it's like, we don't make any money. We spend too much time helping entrepreneurs to make money.
Dude, that's wicked. That's a gift. That's a huge gift.
Yeah. That's how I can spend 2-3 hours a month down in Boulevard.
Right.
Yeah, it's how White Raven can do as well, because we're tracking it.
Yeah.
What are the increases? If you're going to go on a 26% increase in revenue, how much can each employee do?
Right.
Like if White Raven's going to go from this revenue to this revenue, and you're going to hit this to this in certain time periods. Well, if you have 3 employees, don't you need 4? Don't you need 5? For 3 months a year, you need 4. Okay, so when's the hire date? When's the layoff date?
Right.
You can plan out your entire year based off financial and data tracking.
Damn.
Yeah, so that would be the piece of advice I have for anybody. If you're struggling, get better at it. If you're starting a business, start it off the hop.
In like all the years I've been doing this show and asking this question, I'm pretty sure, I'm 99.9% sure I've never had that answer ever in any flavor. So holy shit, thank you.
I mean, it's something that seems a little, it's just, I don't even think about it anymore.
Right.
I just sit down and review monthly, weekly, quarterly data from 19 different companies, and it's all broken down.
Crazy. Love it. So let me ask you this question, and it's not necessarily a follow-up to the numbers question. It maybe takes a left when we were going right. And that is, what do you think makes a company memorable?
Flawless execution, in my opinion.
Whatever the company happens to be and whatever it's doing to the world or with the world.
Branding, everybody's going to say branding, and branding is important. Sure. But it's like, is it? I mean, it is to catch someone's eye. But if you don't do a good job, no one's going to give a shit how colorful or nice the company is. Right. But I would say flawless execution, like get back to emails within an hour. Answer your phone to your business every time it rings. Right. And if it doesn't ring, be stressed about that and figure out how to make it ring. Like, you have to execute pretty flawlessly. Like, it's a very, very competitive province. Yeah. And like Green Drop is a great example. Like, how many landscaping companies do you know out there that has broke through that wall and became like a memorable company in its industry? Sure. Green Drop's one of the only ones in landscaping I know. In auto glass, you have your crystal glass, your speedy glass. Like, there's tons of those. But Green Drop is just flawless when they execute. Amazon is flawless when they execute. I support Amazon as much as the next guy because I'm lazy. They never make a mistake.
No, it's shocking.
They never make a fucking mistake.
Shocking.
We've been ordering. It's shocking how perfect they are all the time. It comes when they say. We've never had an issue with Amazon. Yeah. And people remember that. Like, even when we go for lunch at a sandwich shop. Yeah. Like, we went to Fat Burger the other day, and it's the first time I'd ever actually eaten there. And it's like, oh, wow, do those guys charge money for a hamburger? Yeah. But you figure out why. Because the service is impeccable. Like, you're in this fast food restaurant that's no different than A&W. Yeah. And they're bringing your order out. It's very quick. Everything's perfect. The owner's checking in on your table 2 times. Like, and I will remember Fat Burger for that all the time. So I would say companies become memorable when they don't make mistakes. Try and strive never to make a mistake. Don't miss an email. Don't miss a phone call. You know, just if you say you're going to get a quote to somebody in 3 days, do that. Or else say 8. If it's going to take you 8, fucking say 8. Most of the time, people don't care. We have our estimators with decks, and it's like in deck season, it's crazy. We do so many decks in deck season at Econo Decks. And it's like our estimators get behind, and they're like, oh, we'll have you a quote within 24 hours. And the customers are emailing the office. Right. And administratives, like, I'm getting a ton of customer emails wondering where all the quotes are. It's like, then you got to sit down with the estimators and be like, they don't care. Stop saying 24 hours. Right. Just say 5 days. Sure. But get it there in 4.
Yeah. Under promise, over deliver.
yeah, it's just such a cliche thing, but I find that's how businesses become memorable to me, when they're very good at what they do.
Yeah.
I don't really care what their logo's like. It doesn't really matter to me.
Dude, this has been extraordinary, Brad. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the time, the attention, the deep thought, the deep well that is Brad Warren and your Invisible Empire, which is, again, also such a dope name for a company.
People advise me against using it, ironically.
Love it.
Because there was like an old KKK thing from like Nazis. Yeah,
what?
like you can edit this out or keep it in. But like back in the 80s, I think it was, someone wrote a book like The Invisible Empire, and it was about like a KKK chapter in like Oregon or some shit.
Jesus.
And when we first started, even people in like the digital, because we didn't have in-house marketing at that time, I was using a marketing firm.
Yeah.
And even they were like, no, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. And I'm like, yeah, now I'm going to do it. So now everybody's telling me not to do it, and I love the name.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bury that content.
Yeah.
And I told them, I said, within 10 years, you're going to be able to Google Invisible Empire. Nobody will be able to find that shit because I'm going to bury it on the internet. And we're actually, if you Google Invisible Empire, like we have buried it to the second page.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's almost like racism is just like literally the silliest thing in the world to me. Like, what do I care? Like, I can't believe people get caught up in this shit. Like, whether you're black or white or this, it's like, you're just a human.
Yeah.
It's like if you're gay or straight or who cares? Like, just like, who gives a shit? Let people live their lives, make the decisions they want to make. It's so silly to me that I'm just like, if someone's that naive that they look at our website and think that we have anything to do with that, I probably shouldn't be doing business with them to begin with.
Yeah. It never even crossed my mind that was
most people don't even know
that was a thing. I love the fact that it's this huge conglomeration of businesses that maybe you don't understand that it's part of a whole. And I love that concept. I also was thinking Wonder Woman and Her Invisible Jet, which is also like a really great band from back in the 90s. Anyway, I digress.
we could probably digress all day.
Yeah, we could. Brad, thank you so much for your time today. This has been awesome.
Oh, no, you're very welcome, man. It was a pleasure.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at EasyNextSteps.com. Easy Next Steps is designed to help you and your family take care of the things that matter most. Just head on over to EasyNextSteps.com to get started. I've been your host, Michael Dargie, and this has been the RebelRebel Podcast. It's a podcast for creative rebels and entrepreneurs all over the world. And hey, if you're a rebel or you know a rebel, why don't you head on over to the RebelRebelPodcast.com and fill out our guest request form. Share or subscribe wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And thanks so much for listening. Until next time.